Friend Construction and ADP Contracting Services. We're going to do the third and final video of the Cat 255 2-speed high-flow XPS skid steer. And before we flip up the cab to show you the undercarriage, I want to show you a couple things I missed in the other video. One of which is the hydraulic connection right here, or the hydraulic fill-up. This is the tank. I'll show it to you when we get the cab up as well, but this is the tank and the fill port. There's your sight glass. I know the boom is up, and I'm not saying it's easier because the boom is up, but if the boom is completely down all the way, there's this pocket right here that lines up with this door right here. You can fold this down, put a 16-inch funnel in right here, and that gets you outside the boom. And with that 16-inch funnel, I can use a 5-gallon bucket or a 1-gallon, you know, whatever I want to use, but I can add fluid very easily to this machine compared to the last generation models. So that's an improvement Caterpillar has done on this one. That's an improvement we like. There's a couple things we missed on the other one, because there's some grease ports. There's one here, there's one here. I'm talking about the ones on the end. These are flush with the edges right here, so they're all the same distance out. And I'm hoping that 1/4-inch thread body for that grease fitting, I'm hoping that's going to make it strong enough to withstand, you know, blows against it. I believe this was the same setup that they had on the last ones, and I wish they would have just set them back 1/4 inch and get them out of the way, or put them somewhere else. So, and then we noticed that there is a second fitting here on these. I don't remember these on the other model, but I don't know if they're remote ports or if they just help fill that void right there. So we did notice that there's a second set of grease ports. So, and it's like that on both sides, but that's something we noticed, and or that I've noticed, and I'm not a fan of that. I wish they'd have just recessed them a little to make them less susceptible to getting hit. And something else I'll show you, and I'll show you in better detail that I forgot to mention, is as great as they did the seals on the machines, they did not seal this at all. I mean, the hoses fill up a good portion of it. You can see that pretty full of hoses, but that top right there is wide open, and that I see that being a problem with debris. So we're going to try to get a piece of rubber, flat rubber right here, and make some kind of just something to keep the debris from being able to go in that hole. And I'll show you how open that hole really is in a second. And now that the boom's up in the air, I can show you that gap at the back of the cab. You can see that it's, I don't know, 3/8 of an inch or so. And why I'm gonna bolt down some rubber to go between the yellow and the black right there. I'll show it to you here in a minute, what's on the other side of that. So let me get the cab up in the air and we'll show you the undercarriage. So this is the undercarriage. Ours has been cleaned. We just cleaned it the other day when we were cleaning the whole machine. But you can see there's hardly any debris. I mean, there is some leaves and stuff in there, but I'll show you where that came from. It's from me this morning. But you can see there's only remnants of a little bit of dirt in there. The dirt that was in here was very minimal. 1/8 an inch of very loose, like fine material. Washed it out, no problems. So there's your hydraulic tank right there. That's what I was showing you from the other side. There's your fill port and your sight glass, and you have complete view and access from that door. and whether the boom's all the way up or the boom's all the way down. Here's your hydraulic pumps, hydraulic filter, valve body actuators. I mean, you can see that there's hoses everywhere for this machine. Auxiliary hydraulics, drive hydraulics. I mean, you know, boom and attachment hydraulics. This is going to be I think a better design. I like how the hoses are routed. I like how they're secured. I'll show you the other side of the skid steer track. That's the bolted and seal, or the bolted seal that they use to keep the hoses passing through and sealed in here. So the undercarriage is going to fill up way less. They've also put a separator piece of rubber. It's hard to see on this side, but you can see the black through there. There's a piece of separator rubber to keep the dust that is going into the engine compartment out of here. Here are the seals that I was just showing you earlier. Seals here and here, up this side. Here is that rear one I was showing you that goes vertical. And then there is that gap right there from the other side. The reason they didn't run this is because of this strut, but if they would have left it just floppy, I don't think this would have been an issue. I think this would have bent out of the way and wouldn't have been an issue with the strut itself. There's no reason they couldn't have run this up here to that bushing of the cab bolt. Same thing on this side. Same thing on this side. And then this is that port, or the hoses, where the hoses pass. And you can see how bad it is open on the top right there. Everywhere you see sunlight or daylight through there is where it is open up and going straight into the undercarriage. So we're gonna, like I said earlier, we're gonna try to get some rubber, utilize these studs right here, and I think there's a stud right there and right here. We're gonna try to thread some nuts on there and just put some rubber over there, like a flap, just a rubber flap, to try to keep debris from getting in there, because it is the same way on the other side as well. There's the view right there of the other side where the hoses are going out. There's that view going out that way. You can see all the hoses, and then big open spot. And then this is why we're going to put the seal on the top, is there's tons of pine straw getting in here. And our machine stays parked in a shed under a roof. So this is from when we're going into the woods on brush cutting jobs and stuff like that. That's coming out of pine trees, and this is cleaned. We just cleaned this the other day. We picked all that out by hand, and it's not as easy as you think to get it all out there. That's why. But this is there was I mean, handfuls all in there. So we got it as clean as we could. Here's the other side. You can see how much open there is. This side is different. It doesn't have the studs we had on that side. So I don't know what we're gonna do. We'll might have to drill and tap, you know, to put a piece of rubber on there. I don't want to do that on a new machine, but we might have to. So there's your cabin air filter. Here is the one of the electronic parts, and God knows what it is, the ECM probably. Let me show you the underside of the seat. You can see there's you have fuses, you have wiring harnesses. You have, I guess that's probably your ECM right there, but there's your blower motor right there. There's a lot of stuff up underneath the seat itself. There's your ventilation right there, and there's your cabin air filter, that cylinder right there by the arm. So they've done a good job on the design of the undercarriage. It's very easy to access. From cleaning out standpoint, it was one of the best ones we've ever cleaned out. Usually we're in there with a little shovel trying to get all the dirt and debris out of there. So yeah, this is night and day difference. There's obviously, I see 4 bolts. I imagine that's an access panel, probably for this right here. I'd imagine. I don't know why you'd have it there, other than having to access something on the cab. And then we haven't crawled under there, but we're trying to figure out where the access panel is back there. I guess it's right there. I'm just now seeing the bolts. So I know that was a complaint on other videos I've watched, is they wish there was better access panels on the bottom to service these things. And I don't know. I can see why. Probably make life a little bit easier, but there you go. This is your 2024 Cat 255 2-speed high flow XPS skid steer walk around and review. I'm Andy with Friend of Construction and ADP Contracting. Hit like and subscribe, and thank you for watching the videos. And I'll finish you off with a walk around with the machine in the air. Hit like and subscribe. Thank you.